should know that by now. Oula. Oula. Bon, je parle français. Oula. Oula. I guess we're on, Kevin.
Yes, I guess we are.
We're on. All right. The tech folks tell us we're on, so somebody out there might be listening to us. Somebody. Don't know where from, but they might be listening. My name's Rob Beliveau, here commentating my second game of today, and I'm joined by...
I'm Kevin Ouellette.
Kevin Ouellette. First time commenting?
First time commenting.
Wow.
Yes, so take it easy on me. Even the spectators, I'll do my best.
All the spectators?
Yeah.
Well, I think they'll be good with it. I think they're going to be happy to be tuning into this game and watching these two awesome teams. Team Constantini out of Italy and Team Curtis.
Yep, they're from the Remax Center in St. John's, Newfoundland, Labrador.
And they have first rock, so Constantini won hammer here in the draw. And here we go at the, I guess this would be the third draw in the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Brought to you by title sponsor Stu Sells Realty Team, headed up by Stu Sankey, who has, I think, 8 events now in Canada. And this women's event is brought to you by Neon Train. So great to have corporate sponsors behind this event to bring this caliber of curling to Canada. And Kevin, I know you're familiar with high caliber curling. What does this when you look at this field, you look at the women's field, what does this say to you when you see this type of talent coming to never mind Nova Scotia, but certainly Halifax Curling Club to curl?
Oh, this is by far the most premier event that we have in Nova Scotia. When you attract the reigning world champion, many of the top teams in the world rankings, it always brings the best, and you're going to see some great curling this week. So hopefully that everybody that's watching is enjoying it, and if you have time, come on down to Halifax. It's free to join in to watch, and it's a great place to view the curling matches.
Yeah, big note there. It is free.
That's right.
No money needed to come down and watch these games live. We've got a great bar here every night this week, tonight, tomorrow, and Friday, Saturday. All free. Bands, music going on. Friday night, even some free lobsters. Or, sorry, oysters. Oysters. Messed up my... my seafood there from Murphy Hospitality Group. We also have Prince Edward Island Brewing Co. Sponsoring this event. Crombie Reed, Scotia Square, and the Curling Store, all other sponsors of this event. Really great to have their backing of this to bring these types of teams here. First stones here in the first end. We've got our team out of Newfoundland with their first stone at the top 4 by the looks of it. And Constantini says, nope, we want to get rid of that. And they've moved that out of place.
Yeah, the first end is the first game for both of these teams. So they're, I know this is the first time Constantini's been at this event. So I'm sure they're trying to figure out what the ice is. So they're keeping it fairly simple. I believe this is also the first time that Team Curtis has been here as well. So they're just going to take it easy, try to figure out what the ice is like, and then we'll see how the game goes on after that.
Yeah, for sure. This every team here today, first games. We saw this earlier today when I was actually on the first draw of the event. Even teams that play out of this club were getting used to the ice and the rocks as the ice has been, prepped for this event, and also the rocks have been prepped for this event. So almost making it a new club even for teams that are from here.
Yes, absolutely. The Italian team still just doing simple hitting sticks.
Getting used to that ice, seeing what the curl is, seeing how the rocks react to their throws. might see this for the first end. Hits, trade, hits.
Yep. The first end definitely is looking that way, and then we'll see how comfortable they are in the second end. Now throwing for Team Curtis is Jess Wiseman, the second stone thrower, throwing the draw into the house.
So Kevin, having competed at these levels before, you come into a new arena, you've never played here, you've never seen the stones, you've never tracked them. A team, either of these teams who haven't played, what are they doing in this first end to feel out the ice and the rocks?
Oh yeah, they're just getting comfortable with the atmosphere. What is the speed? Like, they do have pre-game practice, but that can change very quickly once a few rocks are thrown. How much curl there actually is, what you can do with sweeping, how does sweeping affect the rock, because some ice conditions, you can hold it straight or carve it, and some don't. So they're figuring out all the different nuances of the ice and the rocks.
Yeah, in a previous draw, I was commentating with Colleen Jones, which was really fun this morning, and we were talking about some of the differences between some of the European teams and Canadian teams with sweepers on either side of the stone and both sides of the stone, and how that's evolving now in how their techniques are for trying to push that stone or hold that stone one way or the other.
Okay, yeah. There is a lot of science and trial and error to see what works. It's still not defined what's the best way to do things, or what's.
It's not set in stone.
It's not set in stone, exactly.
There's the first bad joke of this draw. You heard it here, and it was from me, so don't blame Kevin for that one. But he did set me up for it. As we watch these two teams trade hits, getting used to the ice.
Yeah.
Team Constantini from Italy, ranked 11th in the world. 11th in the world. That's a pretty high number.
Their curling program has really been flourishing with Joel Returnaz and with his Constantini team. And the highlight is last year at the Winter Olympics, with Stefania Constantini winning the gold medal at the Winter Olympics in the mixed doubles discipline.
Right. And mixed doubles really having an interesting influence on the team curling. I feel that we're watching more of the skips and players from team event playing in mixed doubles and maybe gaining some new skills, some new techniques from that discipline. Oh,
I would agree. Yes, absolutely. It's not one I have a lot of experience in myself. I've only played it once, but yeah, there's you're throwing, you're sweeping, doing everything all at the same time, calling lines. So it's not as if you have a single defined role in a shot. Both teammates have to take care of everything.
I tried mixed doubles a couple times, and I was out of breath.
Team Constantini's just playing the hit and stick as we're finishing up the third stones. And they hit and roll out.
Both teams playing it fairly safe here, just getting used to each other, used to the ice.
Skip for Team Curtis, Stacie Curtis. She's just going to replace the rock into the house.
Great to have you watching here from wherever you're from. We have former winners in this event, including Team Caitlin Laws last year and Team Suzanne Burt the year before. So the women's event really growing and becoming strong. Of course, having a bit of a lead from the men's event years previous, where we've seen winners from Team John Epping, Stuart Thompson, Brad Gushu, Glenn Howard and Scott Howard, which was both the same teams pretty much both years, but really strong showing for some of the previous event winners here.
Absolutely. All top Canadian teams.
Yeah, in a couple of these years, you know, we've talked about Joel Retornez. He's played here. Bruce Moet has played here. Team Schwaller has played here. So we've really had some big names here that are on the international stage right now come through here and not be on our winners list, which actually says something about the quality here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you put on a good event where the ice is great and the teams are great, people will come.
Absolutely. I just wish some of these shots I see here and commentate on, I could transpose into my Monday night league curling that I do here.
Oh, why not? Practice makes
Well,
perfect.
I try.
Or makes better.
Try. You wait till next Monday. I'll be out here flying. Great club curler club here, Halifax Curling Club. I am biased because I am a member, so can't say enough about it, but really proud to have this event here. And as we watch Constantini with her first of 2 shots here, take out hits and sticks, top mid-8, and I think we're going to see a equivalent trade on this shot from Curtis. Can't really talk a lot about strategy in this end, can we?
Not right now. No, it's
Pretty clean.
pretty clean. But that's not unexpected for the first game for these two and first time on this ice. So
absolutely.
And for a lot of teams, that is their team strategy, even if they've been playing on the surface before. Just that's their strategy to keep it clean the first end, and then make a decision what their plan is for the second end.
Absolutely. Curtis here with her last rock of this first end. Civil servant from St. John's, Newfoundland, curling 20 to 25 years-ish. And her female idol is Jennifer Jones. Of course, Team Jennifer Jones is here this week. Unfortunately, Jennifer Jones is not, being skipped by Chelsea Carey.
Yes, I watched that game this morning. That was a very good game this morning.
I tried to watch it from the booth over. It was really hard because we were focused on our game, but looked like it was a great game over there. Her male curler idol is Mark Nichols and Brad Gushu. Not terribly surprising coming from the Rock.
No. So this is Constantini's last throw. She's looking to hit and roll out to blank the end and retain hammer in the second end.
Both teams looking to feel the ice, feel the rocks. These nice straight hits give them an opportunity to figure out how much curl there's going to be in the ice as they get into the slower shots. She makes that look pretty easy, doesn't she?
Pretty easy. I think there's only like 2 sweeps of the broom and just keep it clean and away you go.
I think that was just to keep the sweepers a little bit warmed up for the next end.
Probably.
Yeah. So we finished this first end, no score, blank as we would call it in curling. Hope you're enjoying this third draw of the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Not sure if you've watched previous draws or not, but glad you're with us today. Let us know on social media where you're watching from. Tag us, tag Halifax Curl on Facebook. I guess we call it X now, not Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and love to hear where you're watching from. So tag us there and let us know.
Team Curtis has asked for the tight center guard, so if they're successful, we're looking like we'll have a few more rocks in play this end.
Game on.
Game on.
Game on.
That's
Here
right.
we go.
Oh, they swept it into the...
they pulled it in, top four. I didn't actually get to see if that was the call. Was the call tight or was it top far?
I saw the broom go tight to
Okay,
tight
so
guard.
that's just a little overthrown.
Just a little overthrown, I would say.
Which gives Constantini here chance to peel that out, get rid of it.
She's called for the hit and roll to the 12-foot.
Want to see this shooter stick around, gives them something to play with. Now in the second end, looking to go for a score. Hit and stick, replaces it.
Team Curtis is going to do the same now.
We see the rock come down. Sweepers are not really touching it, feel comfortable that it's in its spot, and replace spots with those two stones, and now we'll see.
Team Italy is not going to put up the corner guard as that rock has rolled away from the center line. So this is a strategy that's been being used quite a bit, the delayed corner guard. You know, if they're successful, it's in the free guard zone, so it cannot be removed. And
still up in that five stone rule.
The five rock free guard zone.
Yeah, viewers are probably used to seeing the guards thrown earlier in the end, the first 2 or 3 stones, and not necessarily this stone.
No, exactly. I first saw this strategy, Brad Gushu did that, is where I saw the first team that I've seen do this, and he made it very, very effective.
Yeah, and we see this one float in just pretty much on the tee line, so a little further than they wanted, and Curtis immediately puts down the broom for a hit. A bit of a miss there.
It was a little bit of a miss, but you know, it's making Team Curtis to hit, so there are no guards. So Team Italy does have the hammer, so it's important that they at least, if they can't get a blank end or score multiple, scoring one is still a very good,
absolutely
very good option at this point.
And they hit and roll out, so maybe a little miss there too.
Little miss as well. Still trying to figure out the different spots in the ice.
Coming back this way in the second end, so first time coming back the opposite end using different sides of the sheet. Not uncommon for teams to be trying to get ahead of where they're at and what they're doing, having only had a couple stones each way for their practices, really.
Exactly. So. Yes.
Just had a viewer comment that they're watching from Fall River, Nova Scotia. So,
wow,
yeah.
Awesome.
Not too far outside of Halifax. Thanks for letting us know. And that one stays outside, which is what they wanted on their first attempt of that delayed corner guard, as we call it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the 6th rock of the end. So now
which can be taken out, so it doesn't have the same effectiveness as the first one would have. Yeah,
exactly. Yep, and they hit and rolled in. So now you'll probably see this end being kept a little bit cleaner. Team Constantini is just going to either hit and stick, hit and roll under that red one. Hoping at some point where they get a double opportunity and turn this end into a blank end.
Yeah, we've seen this in other games where teams have their pre-plotted strategies based on the desired outcome in a given end. The idea of knowing they want to go for the blank really changes the calls they're going to make to make that happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, how much do teams recite that before the game going into it? Do they vocalize that? How do they talk about that, Kevin?
Well, yeah, teams will talk in between ends as to what their goal is. And, you know, they're constantly calculating where they are in the end and what their chances are of getting a deuce or getting a steal, depending on whether you have hammer or not, or you know, is it time to bail, and so they're constantly calculating the odds and the situation with the way the rocks are set up.
So they're not just throwing stone by stone.
No, not stone by stone.
No, we've talked about this before, where teams, you know, in the world of curling, they really put a lot of research and emphasis into the statistics of their probabilities and where they're at. And sometimes to the viewers, it may seem odd that they're giving away a point, but that's actually for a greater goal down the road.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, there's been a lot of work, a lot of study done into the analytics of win percentage and all those sort of statistics, and that does come into play with a lot of the decisions that are made.
It's like the money ball of curling.
It is.
Yeah, we're there.
We're getting there.
We're there.
Yes.
So Team Curtis looking to make a hit here and get a little bit away from their stone, which is sitting up at the top 12. Don't want to set up for the double here for Constantini to pull those out, eh?
No, exactly. Team Curtis will be happy if they can, by the end of the end, that Team Constantini has to make a shot to stick for one. That'll be a win for them as well. So Team Italy here is now going to try to hit the rock in the forefoot and roll underneath to the one that's biting the top 12 foot to put a little pressure on Team Curtis. This one didn't curl up as much and rolled to the outside of the 8 foot. Stacie Curtis will be just very happy just hitting and sticking right on the nose here.
Yeah, with this nose hit here, we'll give it a nice bit of separation. That it's going to stretch 2 rocks in the house and make it try to get the force.
Try to get the force, yeah, and then Stefania will have to make a decision whether she wants to attempt the double on her first. It is thin, but it is there, or is she going to keep it simple and just take her 1 point?
I don't know if she's going to take her 1 point. Going to want the 2, won't she? As we see the hit and rolls out.
Rolls out. That changes her thought process.
Yeah, for sure.
Play 11. Try to roll it your way, Linz, if you can. Just want to hang on to close the 8 foot. You gotta go now.
Stefania Constantini lining up for her first of 2 shots here in the second end. Professional curler, curling for 15 years. Doesn't have any curling superstitions, or didn't tell us of any.
From my experience, all curlers have superstitions.
Okay.
Do you have a superstition when you curl?
I can't say.
Oh, you don't want to tell the superstitious world what it is? Okay.
Because even going through a regular routine.
Do you think too
is a
positive?
superstition.
That's your superstition.
There you go.
So it's the
There you go.
You heard it here, folks.
People won't admit it, but if you have a certain way of doing things all the time, that's a superstition.
So she makes the hit, rolls over,
Okay.
top of the 12 center
They
line
thought it
in the
was big,
rings. So still forces Curtis to have to do something with that rock
No,
on their
10-5.
last
Yeah, 10-5.
shot here in
Yeah.
the second end.
Yeah. The curl, I mean, it was the widest anyone has been in the,
Both
really
teams
worked.
playing it pretty safe
Yeah.
in these first two ends, getting a feel for the ice, getting a feel for each other, and trading hits.
I think we still play like same as the last
With
one,
the
same
release.
speed.
Yep, very nice release, good rotation.
Sweeper on it right from the start. Which might just be a little lack of confidence in the ice right yet, because it looks like it's going to hit nose on and
think
flop in the
same
ring, which
throw.
still forces Constantini to make a hit and remove it. Immediately lining up the broom for their player holding the broom, which is Lasadeli, who's their lead, but holding broom here for Constantini today. Going to look to hit and peel
Clean.
here.
Yeah.
Another blank, moving into the third end. Still has to make it, though.
Still has to make it, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, good. I'm just going to go run and grab my jacket.
Last stone, second
A
end.
little cold. I think this end is. Do you like going out
Just keeping
first,
it clean
force
right now.
them so that they can't hit? They might.
Hits
like,
it, rolls it out, and
I just
as
think if we're
predicted,
going to do
we
it
have a
anyhow,
blank
we
here
might
in the
as well
second
do it
end.
in the way that if they choose to
0-0
come
into the
around,
second.
then we
Both
can freeze.
teams playing it pretty conservative and safe.
Yep, they did try to get something going,
Like,
so I would expect
I
something
think they're going
similar
to hit and roll.
In
Yeah.
the third.
in the
I
third.
think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to predict that
First stone here in the third's going where?
tight guard.
Tight
center
All right,
guard.
all right.
Yeah, that's,
hold you
that's
to
my
that.
call.
Let's see.
Okay.
Lead here for Team Curtis, Julie Hines, registered nurse. It's always interesting to see what the players do in their life outside of curling, and talk a lot with folks who watch curling over the years and think that these teams on the TV, whether it's on the Grand Slams, the Scotties, the Brier, well, that's what they do. They're professional curlers, but really, they work every day. This is one of those sports where, you know, everyday people curl at professional levels. Interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It takes a lot of dedication, and that's what makes our sport so unique. We did get the center guard up. Now it did over curl, so it's not touching the
Yeah.
center line. So the, this year we have the no tick rule
No
in
tick
play.
rule, right?
But in this case, it's not touching the center line, so that rock is available to be ticked. But Team Italy is not attempting that shot. They are playing the draw to come around to the top 8 foot, top 4 foot.
I think the no tick rule change is going to have a big influence on what we've seen in the last few years. I feel like it came, we were talking about this earlier this morning, it came quickly and then it's almost gone away as quick as it came into our game.
Yes, obviously he's going to make a change. There was some, there were a lot of people that were very famous for the tick shots.
Right.
So
And in
obviously-
women's curling.
And in women's curling.
Right, yeah.
And so that definitely is going to change the strategy a bit.
As we see
But-
that draw just pull in right nicely under that
Perfect,
guard.
yeah.
Perfect
spot.
placement, eh?
Yep. you know, as the game evolves, the rules change, and we all have to make our, you know, evolve with it as well and make our adjustments
Right.
to the new rules.
So this stone coming down, not sure they wanted it out that high.
I didn't see the call, so I wasn't sure if it was another guard that was called or if they were trying to do the freeze. But it is in the free guard zone. Italy can't remove it.
No.
Team Italy. So for Team Curtis, that's a rock that can be used in their favor. But now the lead for Team Italy is just going to draw right around the same way, right on top of her yellow one. To lie 2.
Comes in. Go behind there, so just a little overthrown. Back 8, just catching the 12.
Yeah, they're a little heavier than they wanted, but the communication was good, and they got it past the shot rock, and so that they didn't tick off of their own rock and open things up. So. And now Jess Wiseman's been asked to play the run back on the on their own centerline guard.
Still a fairly long run back here. That's going to have to really hit this nose on to try to catch one of those.
It is a precise shot, but you know, people practice these all the time now, so they're not as.
1, 2, clears it out. Nice.
Good shot, and she maintained the center guard as well. So now we have Angela Romai throwing for Team Italy, the second thrower. Going to replace that yellow rock around the center guard.
Now has a couple stones to duck under cover with, though.
Yes.
But still gives Team Curtis something to play with if they get behind it to run, not one, but a couple of their stones back if they need to.
Yes, yep, exactly.
This one comes around, gets in behind, pretty much straight on center line. Nice shot.
Yep, very good.
Really good.
Good spot.
Well ahead of the T line too, which always a spot that they want to get to, so it doesn't give them an opening to get into. And
Jess Wiseman's going to attempt the run back again. She was very, you know, she made the first one. She'll see if she is just as successful in this one. They sweep it early.
On it hard, it looks good. It's going to get 1, 2. There we go.
There we go, yeah.
Great shots. Jess Wiseman, aircraft maintenance. Again, talk about jobs outside of curling.
Yes.
She does have a superstition, wearing Scotty's necklace during competition, so will not do that. Kind of like the don't touch the trophy thing, I feel, is going on there.
Probably, yes.
Great 2 shots
So
there.
Team Constantini is lying shot rock, so they're going to ignore that red rock on the edge of the 12-foot and just come around the center guard. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. Looking at the broom, I thought that was. No, she is playing the head out there.
Yeah.
She's just
going out to the wing.
Throwing the out turn at it.
Just going to remove that red stone and give them.
That over curled. I think the weight was down and then jammed it onto to her own yellow stone. Still looks like yellow is shot rock, but they are both at the back 12-foot. So Erica Curtis is going to take advantage of this and their center guards and try to put this one on the center line behind the center guard, top 4-foot. get by the guard by quite a bit, so. Rock ended up back 8 foot in front of the other 2 stones, so he's now shot. And Italy is going to follow the same strategy and ignore those rocks in the back and try to draw around the center guard top 4 foot.
So we are seeing more rocks in play this end in the third. Scoreless as the teams trade hits in the first 2 ends, and blank just rubs that guard, but yet they still sweeping it in and get it into the rings, but it is pretty open there.
It is pretty open, yes.
Do they hit or do they get in there? Curtis looking now without hammer, saying obviously the hit's here to go. They could hit and flop maybe under their guards, but saying we're just going to ignore that Constantini stone and we're going to do our own thing and come into the 4. What are they thinking here, Kevin?
Well, she's talking about trying to come around with the out turn around the center guard that's on the edge of the 4 foot. You know, it is a good, you know, if she makes it, it's a great shot. However, I don't think they've been out that far.
No.
It might be a bit of a guess.
Neither team has been out that far.
Plus, that yellow one is in such a good spot for a tap up for Team Italy. So I'm not sure what the call was here.
They're looking to freeze down to the top of the Italy stone.
I think they are. They're throwing a guard because
Another
they
guard.
are shot rock at the back of the 8 foot.
Trying to protect it, but
However,
didn't make it.
yeah, that was a big miss.
That's a big miss. Gives a big opportunity here now for the potential for a couple for Team Constantini.
Elena Mathis throwing the 3rd stones for Team Constantini.
Team's getting used to the ice now, feeling a little more comfortable with that draw weight, getting it in. Taps theirs back, which I think lines it behind. Almost behind the guy. No, they're still both pretty open.
Yeah, there's not a hole big enough for a rock to go between those 2, so it is guarded with the rock that they just threw.
So now opens up an opportunity for a double for Team Curtis to try to pull those out.
Yeah.
Get back to shot rock position.
Nose hit slightly on the high side, but the in-turn should make the double.
Skip Stacie Curtis here with her first of 2 stones here in the 3rd. Civil servant from St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking to make a double here, clear out the 2 Constantini yellow stones. Release, and the sweepers are not on it right now.
No, now they're trying to get it to curl.
Outside sweeper out.
They're going back and forth. It must mean it's close.
1, 2, close. 1. Oh, that. Nice shot.
She did move it back far enough to lie shot stone. So Stefania is just going to play the draw around the center guard to the top of the forefoot.
Give a chance here to feel out that draw weight.
Yes. Yep.
Get in behind that guard. Both teams having traded a lot of hits in the first two ends.
I believe this is her first draw.
I think so, yeah.
Sweepers keeping it clean. They must like the weight. Now they're applying more pressure, trying to get some curl.
Yep. Trying to move it in under that guard.
This
hanging
ice,
out there a little wide.
This ice is very good, though. There's a great finish at the end.
It does cut at the end.
It does cut at the end, yeah. Weight was great. Just a little, they would like to have a little bit more curl, but still that center guard does come into play for Team Curtis, so they have to be precise on their final shot.
We also saw in some earlier games that cut at the end, somewhat dependent on the amount of rotations they have on the stone.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, the more rotation you have, the what I would like to say, the truer it'll run.
It'll run.
The less rotation, it depends on where it takes the break point and how much it's going to curl.
And every ice rink is different. Feeling that out, just that subtle difference is going to make a difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
These two teams' first match for them in this event. Still feeling out the ice, feeling out the rocks. So last stone coming up here for Stacie Curtis.
Looks like she'll just be playing the light takeout weight just to hit it and roll to the open, hopefully to lie to.
Really want to put the force on here. Has a good opportunity to do that.
It's important that she just make sure she removes the yellow rock, even if she rolls too far. The way the rocks are set up at the back of the house, it will be a force for Team Italy.
This looks like it's coming down.
They're working
early,
it hard.
Really early. I think they're around the guard.
Around the guard. Got to the nose.
Did they get that out? Ooh.
You know, she's got shot rock, so that's making Stefania throw her last one for a possible deuce. She did jam the yellow one in the back. It's not an easy shot.
No. Partially covered by that guard, but definitely is exposed and can be hit.
But with the right weight, she can push that rock out through the back and roll to the open side and hopefully hang on for 2 points. They are looking at trying to get to the nose. I'm not sure if that's going to get them there too.
So still talking about where they want to go. Calling the line here, the edge of the 8, just on the 12.
Well, it's very close. If they do get to the inside and miss the yellow one, they may get their deuce that way.
This looks like they're calling a little more weight. Like a hack weight here, maybe. Board weight.
For this shot, I'm not sure which, if they're going to roll the open side or to get to the nose. Either way, it'd have to be no more than, I'd say, back line.
Back line.
To if you're going for the 2 to keep your shooter. Anything more than that, you would probably roll too far.
They have a bit of a pocket there to be worried about where they put this red stone. They could actually jam on their own stone, which
they could
give up a steal.
Give up a steal. Yep. Just cut the broom down a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little second thought here as she gets ready for this final stone in the third end.
It's great that she, when she made the change, she got up to reset to go back into her routine for her pre-shot routine. Very important that you do that.
Different from superstition, though, right?
Different from superstition.
Which we can't talk about. Stone comes down.
They're really close here.
They're really close. Really
very,
close.
very close.
Sweeper's hard on it.
Oh,
and it
just
rubbed that guard, and that's it. Steal.
Steal of 1 for Team Curtis.
Well played end by both teams. It really came down to that last shot and just really fine line there. We talked about that. It was close between either hitting for the jam or hitting out and rub against that guard. And
absolutely, it was a very good end. As we check in with the other games on the ice, Team Black is up 4-0 against Team Adams Moss after 2 ends. Team Grandy, I believe, is up 2-1 against Team St. George after 3 ends. And on our final sheet between Team Everest and Team Champ, they are tied at 1-1 after 3 ends. So Julie Hines has been asked to throw up a tight center guard. Sweepers one on it right away. The weight's a little bit light. We'll see if they have enough to get it over the hog line. And unfortunately they don't, so we have a hogged rock. So that'll be removed from play. Team Constantini is now going to throw up the corner guard. Great shot by Lasadelli. Team Curtis putting up the center guard, hoping to get it onto the center line, which they do. So that rock can is now in the no tick zone. Team Constantini is going to take advantage of their corner guard and come and throw a draw around it. Sweeping hard for the line right now. Weight looks really good. And that's a great shot by the lead. Great sweeping. Because of the free guard zone, Team Curtis cannot play a hit on the yellow corner guard, so they are now going to play their own draw around the center guard to the top 4 foot. Being patient with the curl here. There it starts to curl. Now they're going to finish it up. A little lighter than they would like to have been. It's second shot, but they had to wait a little bit to get the curl to get behind the center guard. Team Italy is deciding what they want to do. The rock on the center line, the red rock on the center line, can now be removed. It is the 6th rock of the end. The other option they have is to draw around both of those, or to draw around, put another rock around their corner guard. And they have decided to play the run back. Second stone, Angelo Romai is going to attempt the run back. Things look really close here. So she had the nose hit, jam. Yellow is still shot rock behind the corner guard. And now Jess Wiseman is going to attempt the same run back on the corner guards with the yellows.
So a few stones in play here.
A few stones, yes. They called the sweep right away on this run back. Looks like it's over curled. But they did remove the guard and rolled out.
Just correcting the score there for the viewers at home. Wasn't 3 in that third end, it was just 1. Have a different scoreboard type in curling than some might be used to, where it's not the total score, it's the score in the end, which often is confused.
Especially for people learning the game, it is different scoreboard than
that was me yesterday.
What they
learning
see on
the game.
What they see on TV. Team Constantini is now drawing around these 2 rocks along the center line. Great shot, perfect weight, top 4 foot. 3/4 of the rock is buried. Line 2, forcing Team Curtis to now play a hit and roll.
looking for the roll. It's a bit, but not quite as much as they wanted.
No. You'll probably see Italy try to hit and roll around the center one as well. If they're successful, this will put a lot of pressure on Team Curtis, who doesn't have hammer. Line must be good. They got the sweeper on.
Hit, rolls under, nicely done.
Placed perfectly.
So we have 2 Constantini stones in the top 4, buried under a couple guards. Forcing Curtis here to take a look and figure out what's their next move, knowing they don't have hammer, having stolen here in the 3rd. How do they play it safe?
Exactly. This is the 3rd's last stone for Erica Curtis. They're looking at either tapping the red or freezing.
You tap that red just into the pocket, not move those yellow stones too much, setting up for something in the skip stones.
Yep, exactly. The other thing you can do is you could play the run back on the yellow center guard into the red, if you're comfortable with throwing the takeout weights.
Which would leave that red to nose on the yellow and stick, leaving a red and a yellow stone there. The risk, of course, with the separation of losing your red stone off and putting another yellow stone in the rings.
Yes. Yeah, there is some risk involved. But the way the rocks are set up right now, I think this is the best call for them. Playing a perfect freeze or playing a tap, yellow will still be counting 2, and there's still a couple of shots away. But if they can make this run back, they will at least potentially set themselves up to have a double later on to reduce the amount of scoring for Team Constantini.
Sweeper on it a bit, then calls them off. Now trying to carve it down maybe a bit. Lining up and removes the guard, but doesn't get that run back the way they wanted. A little confusion there maybe on which way that stone was going to break, having called one sweeper on, one sweeper off. Both teams still trying to get used to this ice in their first match.
Immediately is looking at doing a hit and roll off the red one at the top. They've also talked about drawing to the open side.
So we see a conversation here now with just a observation of what the call was to what maybe it could be. Determining whether they hit and run this back or hit and flop over to lie 3. Now the team comes down. So we see more and more in curling what used to be more of a skip and mate or 3rd call. We see all teams coming down and talking about it.
Yeah, the talent and the knowledge of all players nowadays is phenomenal, and it's important that there's many different perspectives. What you see from one end of the ice compared to the skip's point of view, it just brings all the different perspectives in as to what's the right shot to play.
And where once the front end was sometimes maybe not considered as much, having now they're so much more active in the game call, seeing the line, seeing what actually happens with the stone. They really can contribute to that discussion.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of there's a lot of information in the game now, and so everybody has to take their role to provide the information that's required for the team and for the shots that they're playing.
So it looks like a little bit of ice here, just a heavy tap to try to get this red stone out of the way, but leave that yellow stone around. And they make the hit, but the yellow stone rolls out and the red stone stays in. So I think opposite of what they wanted.
Yeah, it looked like the thrower was a little full on that one. They didn't sweep it right away, and they were trying to get it to curve at the end.
Opportunity now for a double. Which stone do they hit first? They're looking at the lower or the upper stone.
Yeah, they're very, very close. So it's just important to get right in between the two of them. You could make it either way.
Really where they want that shooter to stick at the end of it.
Yes. They have to be careful. Yeah, they have to pretty much hit them almost right in the middle, because if they hit one a little thicker than the other, it may not push the yellow one out far enough and give Italy a possibility at a shot for two.
First stone here for skip Stacie Curtis. Down 1-0 in the fourth end after a couple conservative ends at the beginning, and then a steal in the third. In this end without hammer. Facing two yellow stones at the top four, looking to make a hit and get rid of the both of them. Right away, call the sweeper on.
Yeah, it started to curl early. And she only got the one and rolled on top, so left the Italian rock, shot rock. Stefania is calling to come around the yellow rock to the button. It's very important that she puts it in the right spot, because if she doesn't, it's going to be a fairly simple hit on the red one that's in front of the yellow, and make a possible double for Stacie Curtis.
What she must be hoping to do is put it there to create backing, so that if
Yes.
Curtis tries to hit that top red, there's a jam, and at least leave one yellow in play for her last stone to come in and draw for a two.
Yes, that is correct, which is why this shot is so precise, to put it in the right spot.
First of two stones here for Stefania Constantini, ranked 11th in the world here curling at the Halifax Curling Club. The Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic, down 1-0 in the fourth. Immediately calling off here that the line looks off and a bit wide. Sweepers are still on it. A bit maybe for weight, but it's hanging out there a little bit, Kevin.
Yeah, it's important that it does stay for second shot, though.
So it does, and it is in line with where they wanted, just a little further separated.
You know what? I like that spot than what they originally called. The run back double is still there.
Just a harder angle to make.
It's just a bit of a harder angle to make.
With the option, with the potential for the jam for the Constantini stone to stick around.
Yeah, and there is a little separation between the yellow and the red rocks, so she does need to hit that in the right spot to make that double. the other option that Stacie Curtis has is to hit the shot rock that Stefania just threw at the back of the button and roll underneath.
Try to flop under a little bit.
Try to flop underneath. Either or, you know, you have to make you have to make whatever you call. They're both very difficult, so it's whatever you feel more comfortable throwing.
Yeah, and being skipped with last stone, she gets a bit more of that comfort to make it based on both criteria, doesn't she?
Exactly.
Final stone here in the fourth end for Stacie Curtis. Up 1-0 after a steal in the third. Looking to hold off these two yellow stones that are first and second shot in the fourth end. Electing here for the hit.
Calling for the curl here, so she must be a little bit full.
Looks like it's a little outside and doesn't hit the rock she wants, and a miss there.
Yeah, that was definitely not what they were looking for. Now has given Team Constantini a
chance for three.
Shot for three. Question is, do you play the hit or do you play the draw? There's not a lot of room to draw.
They've played a couple tap shots already, though, this game.
Yes.
The 3-4 foot tap. They just get on the center line of that side of the red and just kind of poke it out to the side. And if they do that, their shot stone would still outcount that red stone on the 8. I think.
Looking at the broom they're taking, they have called for the draw to just snuggle in between those two to catch enough of the 4 foot to lie 3. Now they're
talking about it.
Now they're rethinking it.
Thanks, team. We had the shot called, didn't we?
They're just making sure we're still awake.
That's all.
And that we're actually watching their game.
That's all they're doing. Viewers at home must be wondering what's happening.
Yeah, so they have changed the call to a little tap and roll.
Seeing a few comments here on the live chat. Let's go, Team Curtis. Another one, Viva Italia. And one back from the first one. We had a little scoring error here on the screen. We had a viewer calling us on that, so thanks for pointing that out. Getting the bugs worked out here in the first day. Third draw of Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Stefania Constantini in her last shot here in the fourth end with a hit for a potential of 3 after she gave up a steal in the third of 1.
Very, very nice release here. Just a nice tap back weight. Like a heavy draw. Now they're going hard on it, so they must be happy with the line.
The tap pushes it out.
Perfect shot for 3.
Like we called that, didn't we?
We did call it.
Shot for 3. We go from 1-0 to 3-1 for Team Constantini. Coming out of Italy, the 11th ranked team in the world in the women's side. Still a fairly conservative game still as we get into the fourth end from both teams, and anyone's game at this point.
Oh, it is absolutely anyone's game. That's, you know, these good ice conditions help make it a very good game that teams can fight back and make those finesse shots.
Getting some positive comments here on our commentary. Thanks for that feedback. We're both amateurs here who've never done this before, and we're making it up as we go. Glad you're enjoying it. Love to hear from the viewers out there as we line up here coming into the fifth.
Yeah, the last two ends had lots of rocks in play, and I expect the rest to be the same for the second half of the game. Just to update some more scores on sheet 1 after 3 ends. Team Black is up 6-0 over Adams Moss. Team Grandy and Team George are tied at 2 apiece after 4. and no change in the score on between Everest and Champ. They are still tied 1-1 after 4 ends.
Lots of close games here. Just a reminder, too, all the games that you're seeing online, you can also come watch in person. The Halifax Curling Club, 948 South Bland Street in Halifax. Admission is free. A lot of that is due in part by our generous sponsors. This women's event being brought to you by Neon Train. The men's event being brought to you by Subaru. The entire event also sponsored by Stu Sells Realty Team. And, Stu Sells, up to about 8 events now in Canada, was one of the initiators of this event back 5 years ago now, and happy to have his and his team support. Also support here at the club with Murphy Hospitality Group, which is going to be bringing in some fantastic oysters on Friday night. If you're out there and like oysters, come down enjoy some food, also some music. The Prince Edward Island Brewing Company, Crombie Reet, Scotia Square, and last but not least, local, the Curling Store. And really happy to have all of those sponsors on board for this event, which allows you to come down for free, which I keep talking about. We have food here, we have entertainment. The bar is open for alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, which are equally as important. All ages, come on down. Silent auction going on as well. Check out our website, halifaxcurl.com, to see all the cool items, curling and non-curling related, which all help support various initiatives here at the Halifax Curling Club, which typically sees 35 to 50 volunteers to run this event. So it doesn't happen just because somebody says they want this event to happen. Lots of volunteers like you, Kevin. Thank you for volunteering.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's great to be here. There's not very many things in life that are free right now, so take advantage of this.
Yeah. Just like our free humorous commentary, good or bad. Take it or leave it.
You mean I'm not getting paid?
No, you're not getting paid.
Okay.
Get a pat on the back.
I'll take it.
Full disclosure, I am a member here at the Halifax Curling Club and was part of the beginnings of this, along with founder Stephen Thompson. If you're out there, Stephen, you started a great thing here for the club. I know you curl here still, and great to see the legacy move on. As we're here in the 5th end watching stones come in, and Team Curtis sinks that one just behind T-line, probably not quite where they wanted that.
Yeah, a little deeper than they wanted, and it didn't quite curl as much. That center guard for Team Constantini is very high. So even though you can get a rock buried around it, it's fairly accessible to chase. And Team Constantini's just playing the hit and stick. Team Curtis looks like they're just happy keeping this fairly simple this end.
Yeah, being the 5th end, that infamous odd end, probably trying to go for a blank here and get it back in even ends.
Yeah, that's an ideal goal. But if you ever have an opportunity for multiple points, you don't want to sacrifice an end for an opportunity to score multiple points.
As they trade spots here with the hit and roll. That one does roll under the guard, nicely buried, but does give an opportunity for Team Constantini to come in and also bury itself.
Absolutely. As I say, with this ice with so much curl here, that guard is very high. It's really not very effective, so you can easily get to the nose of this red rock. As Angela Romai throws her second stone. Sweepers are on it.
Gonna tick on that guard. That high guard that wasn't effective. Come back to haunt
It did come back to haunt
Team Constantini.
you know, but I will say if they did get by the guard, I'm not sure they would have made contact with the red rock.
And moving that just out of the way a bit now probably isn't a bad thing for them.
Not a bad thing, no. But it does give the opportunity for Team Curtis now to throw another red rock into the rings to lie to.
Jess Wiseman here. Sweepers are on it.
Looks like she's a little short here,
Just a
though.
little light. Come in. It's going to be on center line. Not quite going to bite the ring, so...
Yeah, that was one that they really needed to get, at least biting into the rings. Now that gives Elena Mathis here an opportunity to hit and roll underneath the two of them and put a lot of pressure on Team Curtis.
Sweepers are off it. Feel comfortable with the line. Now on it a bit to carve it down. Gonna hit and just roll off to the side. They really wanted that to roll the other way, about the same amount. So just a little bit out. Opportunity now for Curtis to call a shot and roll back under that red stone just outside of the 12-foot.
This game has been really good that way. Is which team is going to make that shot first?
Hit and roll.
The hit and roll. One of the toughest shots there is.
Erica Curtis here, looking to make that hit and roll in under the red stone at the 12. Sweepers are on it on the outside. It looks like it's going to be a little outside. And it's going to hit. It's going to roll to the other way that they wanted, sitting out the side of the 8-foot here. And now we're going to see a trade, and still Constantini calling for the hit and roll. The roll is just getting a little further away from that center line each time, isn't it?
A little further away, and if she does roll behind the center, we'll be behind the tee line, which Team Curtis can use to their advantage. That's a couple of shots now where we've seen this in turn hit where they've undercurled and rolled away. I'm not sure if the ice has started to change or if we're just throwing a little bit more weight than the skipper's asking for.
Definitely seems like they're getting a little more comfortable with the ice. It might be a little more up weight now that they're getting a handle on the curl. And in this case, we see again hit and stick, which one of two things was the line or the weight.
You know, I think that was actually a better shot to hit and stick there, because to make the roll, as I said, you're going to be behind
it behind the
tee line, and Stacie Curtis would be taking advantage of that and playing a freeze on that immediately. So
now if Erica Curtis hits and sticks here, it gives Constantini an opportunity to hit and roll above tee line.
Yes, but I believe they are ignoring that rock and just playing the draw around the center guards.
Both sweepers on it, pretty much out of the hand, so want to make sure it gets there.
Plenty of room by the guards, but as I say, there is some excellent finish, excellent curl at the end.
Comes around and gets in and just gets in behind that top center guard yellow, which you can't see in your frame on the computer, the TV, the iPad you're on right now.
That shot was very close. 2 more feet, and that would have been fully buried, close to the 4-foot.
There we go. So it gives an opportunity for Team Constantini to come down and hit and roll under that red stone and have 2 yellow stones in the rings without hammer, giving a little bit of work for Team Curtis to dig out of this and not give up either a steal or even get in there for 1. Of course, the draw to that open side is there. Neither team's really having thrown many draws this game, though, I don't think.
No, they haven't. There's been a lot of takeouts, a lot of hits and rolls, taps. This is Stefania's first. I think she's trying to go get to the nose and leave her yellow rock right there. Nice release. Sweeper's just keeping it clean. Now they're trying to make it curl.
Makes the red go away. Flops over in front of their yellow, which sets up for a double.
Double and a possible roll too behind the center lines. Stacie gets ready to throw her first rock here in the 5th end. Looking to hit and roll and possibly get the double as well.
Stone's coming down. Looks like it's going to stay on nose, which it does. She have an option on choice of turn there.
She did, yes.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the double and roll, the out turn would have been more advantageous. But we haven't seen a lot of hits from the center line out, so I'm not sure if they knew the line. Pretty much all the hits have been outside in. Now Stefania here has chosen to just hit and stick on her last one. She has shot rock she did have the option to play the draw to the top 4 foot behind the guards. But being up 2, this is the smart call.
The odds and the strategy play in here now, right?
That's right.
Don't get too greedy even when it looks like you can.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
It all looks great until you don't make that shot.
Right. All looks great from this purview as well in the commentator booth, where we can be armchair coaches to all of this. Nothing like us versus Olympic experience on the ice.
Yeah, that's for sure.
She releases the rock here.
A little full, it looked like. They're trying to get it to curl right now.
Just a little bit outside. It's hanging out. It might actually hit and roll out, and it does.
Bit of an unforced error, but not not the end of the world. Blank situation. Team Constantini, worst case scenario, will you know, if the blank is made, they're still up 2 points with 3 ends to play. So as we said before, those hit and rolls seem to be
Easy to call.
easy to call. They've been a little tough to make right now. But the team that can make those have the difference, just like in the fourth end. I can't remember if it was the third. Yeah, it was the third. Mathis that made the nice hit and roll behind the center to create to set up that 3-ender.
And as we see the event goes on and teams get more comfortable with the ice and stones, we'll see that those are going to be made increasingly more and more day by day.
Yeah. So they're sweeping this one hard.
And this one's
but they're successful.
Get it out.
Successful for the blank.
So, as we roll that one out in the end of the 5th, moving into the 6th, Team Constantini out of Italy up 3-1 over Team Curtis out of Newfoundland and Labrador. Can't forget Labrador. We talked about Newfoundland.
That's right.
Don't know if we have any viewers here from Newfoundland and Labrador, but want to make sure I shouted that one out. Always great to have teams here from all the Atlantic provinces and any province in Canada and certainly overseas. This year we're seeing a lot more international teams show up, which is great for competition, both for us to have them here and also for our Atlantic teams to get used to playing from teams that they don't normally play with on their regular circuits.
Exactly. Yes, it's wonderful. So Italy throws the first stone here in the 6th end, and they've Stefania has asked it to bring it into the house to the top 4 foot.
And as asked, it does.
Perfect sweeping.
Well, maybe a little deeper than they wanted, but. We see lead stones here in the 6th. Going to see a call here from Team Curtis to put a high guard in place, but this one here is going to need some help to get over the line. They're going to get it over. They just get it over, really high guard. It's questionable there for a sec whether it was going to make it.
It's very close. Now Italy has the option to throw a tight center guard on this or come into the house again.
Up 3-1 in the 6th in that infamous even end. Feel like they're going to maybe play a little more aggressively now. They're getting used to the ice.
I would agree. Yes. Plus, with the yellow rock, the top 4 foot, it's in a very good spot. So throwing the guard, it'll be in the free guard zone. Plus, if they were touching the center line, the no tick zone. But so it wouldn't have been able to be removed. But it did over curl.
Yeah, gives an opportunity here for Team Curtis to hit the hit and roll as we we keep talking about. Just had a message here from a viewer in Shediac, New Brunswick. So getting
excellent.
all the provinces covered. If those folks in Shediac are watching, thanks for giving a shout out. Great to have everyone watching from every province, territory, country we can get to.
As the teams get used to this ice, it's those hit and rolls are made on weight control. If you throw the right weight, that's when you're going to make those shots.
Originally here a call off, but now calling them on. Looks like this rock is diving down.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of weight for a takeout.
It's going to hit that guard at the top. It's going to roll over and didn't quite get where they wanted. Does clear open the center line.
Does clear out open, yes.
Which down
Angela,
by 2, really not what they wanted
not what
to
they
do.
wanted. No, but you know what? It is a corner guard for them at the
For
same
them,
time.
right.
So
Didn't put it out of play.
they, for Team Curtis, they may be able, at some point, they may be able to take advantage of those 2 corner guards. Angela Romai is just playing a hit and stick here to lie 2. It's a little, they're trying to get it to curl so that it will stick, and they are successful.
And that roll outside probably isn't terrible for them.
Not terrible for them,
Gets the
no.
separation, takes
Exactly.
away a bit of the double.
Takes away the double. Yeah, get some separation. That might be the rock in the end that forces Team Curtis 2-1.
Right.
But here we'll attempt another hit and roll, and that where they can take advantage of those 2 corner guards. Jess Wiseman throwing the out turn.
Out of her hands, calling the sweeper on hard, which trying to hold it for line. Now off.
Looks like they're calling an audible to roll it towards the other
Roll it
yellow
over.
one.
They remove the yellow stone, leave theirs out in the open, and immediately Stefania Constantini calling for the hit. Looked like the call was to hit and stick where they're at. Didn't really see a call for a roll.
Yeah, hit and stick. If you're going to roll just to the center line.
Not trying to get over under that corner guard.
No,
of
once
theirs.
again, to get underneath the corner guard, you're flirting with going behind the
Too
tee
far,
line.
Too far, yeah. And for anyone new following curling, the tee line is that center line in the middle of the house. I always like to sometimes just have, give that opportunity for new viewers to, we're using this jargon that we're used to.
Yes.
Just kind of explain what it is. She hits that, and the stone is going to stop just in front of the tee line, which is that straight black line across the center of your screen. Not up and down, but side to side.
So Stacie Curtis is going to call the same shot as last one. Try to hit and roll behind the corners. That throw looked a lot better.
Sweeper's on it the whole way, though, so wanting to keep it in check. Looks like it might be over curling from what they called. It's going to be a hit and nose or roll the other way they want it.
Again, yes.
But gets over.
Still shot rock.
Still shot.
And that yellow rock can come into play if it's not thrown perfectly.
It's not totally out in the open.
They swept it early out of her hands.
Yeah.
I think they have their own rock at this point. They are coming off their own yellow, so they're calling an audible to see if they can roll maybe somewhere.
So that curled a lot on them. They weren't able to hold it, and bit of an unforced error there.
Yeah, an unforced error, absolutely. And as you said, there hasn't been a lot of hits called inside out from the center line out, so there's a good chance they were guessing at how much curl there's going to be. But now Stacie Curtis here is in great shape for a deuce, or possibly more if they can get a nice hit and roll. It's Erica Curtis throwing this stone. Third for Team Stacie Curtis.
Sweepers were off it. Now the outside sweeper's on it, trying to push it over. It's going to make the hit, but shooter's going to roll out, and now we have an open hit for Constantini to remove Curtis Stone, and
That was another unforced error. That's very important to hit and stick there to allow your two. Italy's just going to hit and stick out here, keeping it clean all the way down. No problems. Now what's Stacie going to think? Is she going to go for, try to get a deuce here to tie up the game in the sixth end?
Well, she's calling for the draw behind that corner guard and ignoring the Constantini rock over here on the 8th. So trying to put a little bit of pressure on these last couple stones to try to get maybe an unforced error from Constantini here.
Exactly.
I mean, leaving it, doing the hit and trying to, the roll is pretty far over there to try to make, as you said, it'll go behind the tee line. So trying to generate a little bit of offense here.
I like this call. If they put it in a very good spot, as you said, you put the pressure on your opposition to make a good shot. They were on it early, but now they're off. Looks a little warm.
A little heavy.
But it's important to stay in the rings, even if they're not shot rock.
And it's outside of the ring, so another unforced error that really could have been an opportunity to generate some offense for maybe even two.
Exactly, yes.
Of course, having last stone, they really wanted that to stick in there higher.
You know, it's important that, you know, all the throwers, you know, no one's ever trying to miss a shot, of course, but, you know, it's important to know where the rock needs to be, but it's also important to know what the tolerance is.
Yeah. Commentated here a couple years ago, and former member Alan, if you're watching, not sure if you are, him and I commentated a few games, and we talked about the pro miss versus the us miss, and the pro miss is what they miss, the us miss is what I miss on a Monday night, which is whatever miss it is, and really it's when you make a miss is what you leave for that other opponent. And you know, the pro miss is they might miss their first shot, but they're not leaving something totally exposed for the other team to take advantage of. It's the plan B miss, and you know, these teams are really good at knowing if they're not going to make what their primary target is, they're not going to leave a lot for the other team.
Exactly. So Stefania's just going to play the same draw that Erica Curtis tried to come around the just to choke off those corner guards. Ideally, just biting the top forefoot.
And also knowing that Curtis Stone is at the back 12, a little bit of backing if Curtis tries to take it out. Opportunity for a jam.
This one looks a little warm too. Yeah. It's going to come behind the, come a little bit behind the tee line. Now that's a rock that Stacie Curtis can really take advantage of here.
Coach Kevin coming down freeze onto that. Or are you going to tap?
I like the freeze. Especially with those guard there, you don't have, you could even be freezing on the corner of it. You can freeze to the nose of it, and you're in very good shape. That red rock will not be removed, and Stefania would really have to decide what her counter attack would be. The tap's not a bad call, but we've seen how both teams have struggled with the with those weights to make those perfect hit rolls.
Those hit and rolls, yeah.
So here comes Stacie, ready to throw her first rock here on the sixth end. Down 2 with hammer. They asked for the curl already, to sweep for curl. Comes across the center line.
It's going to make the hit. He's going to get that jam on that back rock we talked about, and shot stone just almost on the button.
Once again, that perfect hit and roll is eluding both teams for the most part.
And that back yellow stone, I think, is just outside of the rings. So
it looks like it from
not
our
in play
angle.
for a score, but definitely in play for a potential jam. As we get down to last stones here in the sixth end. 3-1 game for Constantini over Team Curtis.
Stefania's going to try the same hit and roll, but which is great if she makes it, but it's more important that she hit and sticks to lie 2 to force Team Curtis into to taking 1 point.
And sticking gives the opportunity even potentially for a steal if there's a Curtis miss.
Exactly, yes.
Final stone here. Stefania Constantini out of Italy. Looking for a hit and stay on that final shot. Sweeper's on it right over her hands. Must feel it's a little tight on line. Now they're letting up. Just cautious sweeping. Cautious sweeping. Hits, sticks.
And that's a good shot.
It's a great shot.
You know, she didn't roll all the way under the guards, but that's fine. She's lying 2, forcing Stacie Curtis to make a hit and stick for her 1 point.
The commentary booth here, we have the purview of still seeing the team here talking about the shot, talking about how it moved, where it moved. These teams are always analyzing. Even when they make the shot they want, they're still analyzing what happened and how it happened.
Exactly. Yep. And they're talking about, have there been any changes in the ice with speed?
Right.
Have they noticed anything with rocks? So there's a lot of communication from all 4 members.
Which is how these teams make themselves to be ranked number 11th in the world.
In the world, exactly.
As we see the Curtis last shot here. Hit stick for 1. So the force. 3-2 Team Constantini over Team Curtis at the end of the 6th. And move into the 7th. Still a fairly conservative game for rocks in play. We haven't seen a lot of ends with multiple rocks coming down to the last shot. Not a lot of draws. These last 2 ends might change that.
Yeah, it will, yes, because now, you know, Team Curtis here is definitely going to have to go for a steal. If not, make sure that no worse than forcing Team Constantini to 1.
Right.
So you're going to see a lot more rocks in play.
Absolutely. Thanks to all our viewers from wherever you're at, watching us here at the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Brought to you by Steel Subaru on the men's side and Neon Train on the women's side. Happy to have you. Just a reminder, all the games, entertainment, fun is free admission here. 948 South Bland Street. My name's Rob Beliveau, guest, visitor, commentator. I'm here with Kevin Ouette. Kevin, what do you do every day? What's your job?
What
do you do?
Well, that's a great question.
Why are you here talking about curling? Do you know anything about curling?
Depends on who you ask.
Okay. Okay.
I am recently took on the role of the high performance coach for the Nova Scotia Curling Association, and so my main role is to oversee the high performance program for our junior teams. We have 8 junior teams in our high performance program to get them ready for the different levels of provincial, national, and if everything goes well, international play.
International. And Nova Scotia's had some pretty good success in the junior realm lately.
Yes, we have. We've had a few Canadian champions and some Canada Winter Game champions here recently. So our reputation is gaining greatly, and we look forward to keeping that momentum going forward. We have some great players, and more importantly, we have some great coaches here to mentor these players.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have the coaches to really make this whole thing happen. It's about creating the environment for everything.
Absolutely.
What do you think events like this, being in, you know, the backyard of Atlantic Canada, mean for some of those junior curlers that you coach and mentor every day? What are they looking at when they see this?
Oh, this just shows them the opportunities that are available to them, and that's the biggest part. You know, like, you know, seeing international teams here, seeing the best of the best from across Canada, it just shows that, you know, it is possible.
Yeah.
You know, just because we're, you know, from a certain region of Canada doesn't mean it's that, you know, that thought process is long gone.
Yeah.
You know, like the teams that we have, especially in our junior program, we do a lot with sports performance science, with strength and conditioning and mental performance and nutrition, and that is a huge part of high performance that is making a difference within teams. And the first thing you need to do is buy in, and that's what these teams have done, and the coaches have bought into that process, and the results that come from it.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, and you know, having an event like this certainly provides inspiration for the teams that I think are in the program, but even players and teams that are aspiring to be in your provincial program too.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for all the hard work you do in Nova Scotia curling.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Obviously, I have a little bit of a biased position, which the viewers don't know. But curling in Nova Scotia is high-performance junior curling is in good hands with you. So for those of us involved in Nova Scotia curling, I'll just say that we thank you for that.
It takes a community, and you know, I can't do it all myself, obviously. So I've been very fortunate to work with good people that help this process.
One of your staff colleagues was playing earlier today. I had the fortunate opportunity to commentate Jill Brothers' game, our technical director here in Nova Scotia Curling. Great to have her on the ice and as part of the programming. I know the two of you liaise frequently on programs and initiatives in Nova Scotia.
Yes, we do. Yes, it's great working with Jill and the rest of the team. The vision here in the province is great, and we're looking forward to making good things happen.
Yeah. Great to keep curling alive here in Nova Scotia. Events like this really help keep it going, and happy to have you here helping us commentate. Happy to have curling moving along as we're here in the seventh end. Team Constantini up 3-2 over Team Curtis in both of their first draw, figuring out the ice, figuring out the rocks.
As expected,
a few more rocks in play.
Team Curtis put up the two center guards. Yep, Team Curtis put up the two center guards. Team Constantini looked like they went to the open side on their first and then came around the double center guards, which they went a little deep, which is not exactly where they wanted that. Then Team Curtis came around the center guards, and now it's Team Constantini's turn to clean the front up to make sure that worst case scenario they have a shot for one, if not a possibility for multiple points this end.
Yeah, they really want to be up by 2 getting into that 8th. Or do they give it up and go into the 8th with hammer up by 1?
It's not a bad situation, and that's where team philosophy comes in. Every team is slightly different, whether they'd rather be up 2 without, tied with. There's there's no right or wrong answer. What's
comfortable for the team and the risk tolerance
where they want to be. Yeah. Now, ideally, if they can score multiple points and be up 3 or more.
Well, something you said earlier, you're never going to give up an opportunity or give up that opportunity to get those multiple points just because you have a strategy going in. But
yes,
yeah. So we see this one come in. High guard. Team seems happy with it, trying to get some defense up front there, some rocks to play with.
So as long as everybody's making their shots, you're going to see a repetitive team. Curtis is going to put the center guard, and Team Constantini is going to be throwing peels and trying to clean the front up. Unless there's some mistake, some unforced error that happens. That should be the process going forward until you get closer to the skips rocks when different decisions will be made.
Calling for the peel here. That guard that Curtis just put up, they want to get rid of. It's gone.
That was a great peel, and she got a little fortunate too by having that the red one near the top 12-foot rub off the other red one in the top 8-foot, because it was looking close to jamming on that back yellow stone. So Team Curtis is switching gears here, now playing a hit and roll off the yellow rock on the edge of the 8-foot, 12-foot.
Long roll here.
It's a long roll.
And it will put them behind tee, but there is a little bit of backing that if they place this right, could sit in on top of that Constantini rock on the 8-foot, the back 8.
The release was just a little full on this turn. As you see, they're trying to carve the rock to get some curl. And once again, they hit and rolled out, so now that gives Elena Mathis here an opportunity to hit and roll to the open side, and for Team Italy to sit 2 stones.
Watching earlier in some games, interesting to watch the rotations the curlers are putting on the stone here. Some a little bit less, a little bit more as teams get settled in from wherever they've practiced and played from, and I think that's coming into play a little bit here with some of these shots. As we see a lot of rotation here on this stone. Hits and rolls right where they wanted it.
So it looks like Team Curtis is not forcing the issue of trying to steal one anymore. Now they're just trying to cut them down. Even if it's a blank end, they will only be down 1 point and be going for the steal in the last end to try to take it to an extra end. And perfect double and roll to the end. Great shot. Now you'll probably see this end being very straightforward from now.
A bunch of rocks to not many. And we see the shot from Mathis, straight hit, sticks, and is still counting. Still makes it a rock that Team Curtis has to deal with as we get down to some of the final stones in the 7th end.
Just update the viewers with other scores. Sheet 1 has finished their game. Team Black was victorious over Team Adams Moss. Team Grandy is up 6-2 after 6 ends against Team St. George. And on the final sheet, I have to wait for some of the players to move out of the way to see the scoreboard. But Team Everest, I believe, is up
3-2.
3-2 after 6?
After 6, yeah.
Okay.
Tight game over there.
Thank you.
But we also just had the end, and now they're up 4-2 going into the 8th, so a steal.
There we go, perfect. So up 2 without coming home for Team
Sorry,
Everest.
Sorry, a 1, not a steal. Tight games across the board. Great competition, great curling. We've got 2 games every day, every draw every day being streamed online here as part of the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Great to have 2 games every draw being streamed.
That's great. This is
It's a non-slam, non-big event, if you will, in that regard. Two games every draw. Yeah.
yeah, it's great for the sport of curling and for for the locals just to highlight their talents for people that wouldn't normally see them.
Absolutely.
Stefania's just going to draw to the open side. They're really talking about the spot, exactly where they want to put it. There are no rocks in play at this point.
First stone in the 7th end for Stefania Constantini. Up by 1 without hammer. The house is hers.
The house is hers, yes. They swept immediately out of her hand as soon as she released the rock.
Might be a little light. Looks like it's going to make it into the house.
Yeah,
so.
great sweeping.
Yeah. Teamwork. Good communication there.
On Stacey's last, she'll try to hit and stick, forcing Stefania to make her last shot.
Just checking here the chat on the live stream. Always great getting feedback from viewers from all parts of Canada. Just had some feedback from some folks in Quebec watching, so great to have them watching us on the live stream here at the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. A couple Quebec teams in the house this week too. As we see this stone come down, makes the hit but does not stick.
So Stefania is just going to throw this through to retain hammer, 1 up, coming home in the last end.
This is one of these throws where if you're new to curling and you've never watched a game before, you're saying, why aren't they going for the point?
Yes.
For anyone new watching here, they want to blank the end. They don't want to get a score, so they're just going to throw it through and make sure it goes through all the way. Achieves the goal, goes through, blanks the end, and Team Constantini retains hammer. Coming into the 8th end, up 3-2 over Team Curtis in a really tight match here. Not a lot of mistakes on either team, playing it quite conservatively, and the game isn't over, but they're both playing it pretty safe.
They're playing it pretty safe, but this should, the math is very, very straightforward. So I expect to see a very exciting last end. Julie Hines has been asked to put up the tight center guard.
Stone comes through. The sweepers are calling it off. Feel like it's there. Now at the end, want to finish it off and get it over to that center line, which was the call. They know now that the stone is going to come in on its own. I feel like they're getting that groove where they know it's going to carve at the end, and they knew it was going to happen.
I agree with you. Yes, they're figuring out where the break point is and how much curl there is to finish. Stefania's calling Luca Deli to draw around the center guard to the top 4 foot.
So stone comes around. Sweepers are both on it, just making sure they know it's going to come around. Don't want it to be too deep here, though. Want to stick on that center line, and nice finish again.
Biting the top 4 foot is actually perfect location for that stone. Because Team Curtis has to steal a point this end to take it to an extra end, I expect that this is a high center guard has been called.
Need something to keep out there but use later.
That's right.
Sweepers are on it pretty early here, out of her hands.
They've been off and on. They've been on it, but not a lot of pressure, so that means they're very close. Well judged and well swept. They would like to make sure it touches the center line, which it does, so at least it looks like it's touching the center line from our viewpoint, which means it cannot be ticked off with the no-tick rule.
We're still in the no-tick rule.
We're still in the no-tick rule, that's correct.
Making a change for strategy this year from previous years where the lead stones that are not allowed to be fully removed because of the no out rule, cannot take out the first 5 stones, can be ticked, and that rule is now made this year that they can't just be ticked if the stone is on the center line. So making the teams change up their strategy a bit, and this shot called for the draw behind and made it really nice shot.
She made a very nice shot, but this it is a little deeper than they would like, and so if Team Curtis can get one frozen on here, they're in great shape to possibly have a rock in a good position to steal.
We see the stone come down. Sweepers are off it. Now on, want this to come down and freeze on the top of that yellow stone, and it looks like it's just going to be out a little heavy and wide.
Just a little bump, yeah. I would expect Stefania to ignore that red rock now and just open the front up, peeling off the guards.
She's thinking of hitting. We've seen this in other games before where you're up 1, you've got hammer. Do you clear at the front and create that room for yourself, or do you actually just eliminate what's there now in front of you, and different skips take different perspectives on that?
Absolutely. For me, it's still very early in the end, so I would definitely start peeling some guards because it's still. I would expect Stacie Curtis to replace those guards.
Right.
But as the end gets in later, that's when you may have to make that decision where if you change your philosophy and then start to come after that red rock that's in the house.
Which in this case for Constantini is not shot stone either.
It's not shot stone.
So if it was shot stone, it might have a different priority for her. But right now, it's just there.
Yes. And looking at the way it is right now, with the yellow rock being shot stone, Stacie is probably 2 shots away to get shot rock, unless she plays a run back on the center line one. But that's way too early for that. I did miss the call. Did you see if they were calling the guard or if they're coming freezing in there
I
again?
think they're calling the guard.
Okay. I think the way the line is right now, looks like they are calling the freeze.
Coming down, you're right.
I personally think that's a little too early, but hopefully they prove me wrong.
Rub off that yellow and don't quite fit in the pocket. Actually leaves an opportunity for Constantini to remove that, possibly with a double. Can they get that out with a double?
Not sure they can get it out the double, but I do believe they're just peeling the guard right now, which is a great call. Yellow is still in a very good position.
Still shot. Opens it up.
Now Stacey's calling for the guard. This is Erica Curtis's first stone.
It's going to need some work to get over the line. They're going to get it over. I don't think they're going to get over as far as they wanted to, though.
No, they wanted this guard to be fairly tight to the rings, so that is quite high. It's still in play, still effective. It really makes Stefania think what she wants to do. I still think it's third's first stone for Mathis.
So they're looking at the hit now on those two in the four. They feel the line is there.
The line is there. If she can make this, this is a great shot, but we have to make sure that the proper pro side misses to hit the guard and not
hit those yellow.
Not hit those yellow ones.
Those yellows, yeah.
Yeah.
So up by one. Wouldn't say a risky shot, but definitely not a shot we've seen them attempt to take yet at this point.
This is very close.
Comfortable.
This is very close, hung in that center line. Now we can get it to curl a bit.
And they do hit their yellow, but they do move one of the reds out and shakes the other red over.
It does clean up the middle a bit more, so that's a good result.
And again, as you said, with a few stones remaining, must have felt comfortable even if they made a miss. They have an opportunity to then do something else with it.
Yep, exactly.
Now this is giving Team Curtis a little bit of a pause for the team to come look at where they go next. They're not shot stone. Team Constantini, without hammer, is shot. Looking to decide to put another guard up. I don't really think they have much place to come in at this point, do they?
No, another guard is very important here. That's the right call. It's still very early to play on that yellow shot rock.
Yeah, really, they want to keep that around for some backing.
Later on, yes. Erica's signaling that it looks like the weight is a little warm for the guard. They haven't laid a brush to it right now. Now they're trying to get it to curl. They did want a guard, but now it is coming into the rings. Biting the top 8 foot. Now he
Up
looks
there
like
in play, tucked a little bit behind that guard.
yeah, and Stefania is calling for the peel of the guard from Elena Mathis. Perfect execution. Now 2 rocks to come for Team Curtis. Now they have to really think how they're going to plan this out for a steal of 1.
They have a couple stones in there, so they have something to work with.
They're looking at the freeze, which I think is a very good call. With that broom, it looks like they are throwing the guard. This is the first stone for Stacie Curtis from the Remax Center in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. They haven't put the brushes to it yet. Now they're trying to make a curl. Yes, they did call the guard. That's a good shot. Now Team Constantini is looking at ignoring that guard and coming around to freeze to her shot rock to lie 1 and 2 to make a very, very difficult shot for Stacie Curtis to lie 1 after her last shot.
Close game here. Sheet 8. Some may wonder, sheet 8, if you're looking at the feeds, there's only 4 sheets. Often throws off some visiting curlers in our club. The sheets are numbered 1824. That represents the year the club was founded, 1824, as we come on our 200th anniversary. Really exciting to have that happen.
Yeah, looking forward to next year and all the different festivities you guys have planned.
Working on it.
Just to update some other games, Team Grandy was successful in their game over Team St. George. And on the final sheet, Team Everest was successful over Team Champ.
Yeah. And we are the last sheet remaining. Eighth end. First stone here for Stefania Constantini. Sitting 1, up 3-2. Didn't see the call for a guard, though.
No, she called for a freeze on her.
Freeze, coming in on her own.
Yeah, coming in on her own to lie 1 and 2 behind the center guard. If she makes this perfect, I'm not sure what Stacie Curtis is going to have.
Knowing
on her
that
last
that would
rock.
outcount Stacie Curtis's other stone right now, even given a direct hit, hard to remove.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
This is looking really, really good. Sweepers are on it, and just came up a little bit.
Over curl, a little short.
A little short, but it's close. It looks like it's red, but sometimes our camera view is not the most ideal.
I think it's red. We should see from the we might see from the players here which one is second.
Yeah, just a slight misjudgment on that rock. If they could have brought that in even just 2 inches more, would have been great. But a perfect freeze would have been ideal.
Yeah.
It would have been very tough for Stacie Curtis to beeline shot rock after her last one. So now she's going to play a double, very thin double.
Curtis without the advantage of hammer here. This is her last stone. Really has to make this count. And
yeah, they're no use saving this shot for later because there may not be another one. Got to make it now.
get down to final stones here at the 1824 Halifax Classic, Halifax Curling Club. Come on down, free admission, free entertainment, all week long, tonight, tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. Great curling, some great events. Last stone here for Stacie Curtis. Immediately call for a sweep. Hold the line as this stone is coming down. And it looks like it's going to nose stick, leaving 2 yellow stones, and the win for Stefania Constantini and her team out of Italy.
That was a great game.
Came down to the last stones. I mean, what else could you ask for, really?
Exactly. Exactly.
Both teams now exchange niceties and thank each other for a great game. We want to thank you for watching us here on the live stream from the 1824 Halifax Classic. All the viewers from far and away, near. Kevin, it's been fun. You, for your first game commentating, you did a great job.
Well, thank you very much, Rob. I appreciate it. Thank you for your mentorship.
Well, I know this is only my second game commentating, so the two of us, whoever's in charge of this event, whoever's in charge of this event, put us in front of microphones and a screen. Very happy to be helping get these games out to the viewers. Thanks everyone for following. Thanks to the teams for the great game, and live stream coming back to you again. And I think the next draw is at, I should know this off by heart. Next draw, come on. Tell you when the next draw is. The next draw is at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time, so an hour and 5 minutes away, whatever time zone you're in. Thanks for having us. Look forward to seeing you next time. And Kev, let's try to do another game.
We'll do.
All right.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.